Our Prime Minister visits the foreign countries a lot, but however, it is not for enjoyment and recreation as such. It is really important to keep visiting, meeting the heads of the different states as in the different countries. That is important in order to strike the deal, in order to negotiate, in order to improve our stand in the geopolitical scenario. Now, a similar thing has happened with respect to our Prime Minister visiting France. And we will understand in this video as to why our Prime Minister's visit to France is a big geopolitical win for India. However, of course, there are certain challenges and concerns which also we will deal with and also have a look at way forward with respect to them. But let us also understand the importance of this visit, the significance, the outcome of this visit, and why it's a big win probably for India. So first things first, about the news. So the news is about our Prime Minister's visit to France from 13th to 19th June 2026. Now, that's when he held bilateral talks with the French President Emmanuel Macron, right? So he is the head of state of France, and we had our Prime Minister, who's our head of this, basically head of the government, right? So they have had a bilateral talk. Now, over there, India, basically our Prime Minister, representative of India, participated in G7 summit at Evian-les-Bains. Right, so this G7 summit, which is a group of 7 countries, which we will see later. Once it became G8, but then later it was converted into G7, which we will see all that. So this is what happened. Now, over there, our Prime Minister also addressed the Indian diaspora and the Viva Tech 2026 in Paris. Indian diaspora means the Indian people living in France was addressed by our Prime Minister in Paris. India-France relationship, you can say, has elevated to a special global strategic partnership now. So we are having a strategic partnership. Now the question is as to why France is important for India. The very first thing, France is a reliable defense partner. So if you talk about Rafale, we have purchased it from France and we are going to purchase more as well. It's a reliable defense partner. It's a permanent member of the security, United Nations Security Council as well. Who are the permanent members? So you have basically Britain, then you have China, then you have USA, then you have Russia, and you have France. These are the 5 permanent members of United Nations Security Council. India also wants to become the permanent member. And what is the logic behind that? See, these 5 members are members since the beginning, and it basically showcased the power dynamics of the world at that time. But the power dynamics of the world have now changed. India is also a big power in the world politics now, geopolitics. So India also logically should be a permanent member. Now, major Indo-Pacific power with the overseas territories. France has a lot of overseas territories in the Indo-Pacific region, so it is a major power over there. Also, it supports India's role in global governance institutions as well. So France is sort of an ally as well. Now, let us see what has been the outcome of the visit. So first things first, India's relationship got upgraded. Upgraded to what? Special global strategic partnership. That is very important. Second, this visit reflects growing strategic convergence in the changing global scenario, in the changing global order. It is very important to have good allies, powerful allies who can stand with you in during the test of time. Then discussions in the procurement of 114 Rafale fighter aircraft, which I told about. Further expansion of defense industrial cooperation, as France is an important defense partner. Strengthening the military interoperability and technology sharing. Military interoperability, working in sync, in coordination, as well as sharing of the technology. Then further, joint inauguration of Bharat Innovates program took place, wherein Emmanuel Macron and our Honorable Prime Minister inaugurated this particular program. Then you have the collaboration in AI, artificial intelligence and emerging technologies. Then you have increased startup and innovation ecosystem cooperation, where as well as moving of the partnership beyond simply buyer and seller defense relationship. Simply buying and selling also does not help. Technology transfer and all is very important, so we are moving ahead from there, and it all will encourage co-development and technological self-reliance. Co-development means developing the equipment, the things together, which will help us to develop things faster. Now, what is the geopolitical significance of this for India? See, basically, all this strengthens India's strategic autonomy. We would not be dependent only on one or few countries. We are adding more and more countries into our bag, so that our reliance on any one country or a couple of countries is actually lowered. It helps us to diversify our partnership beyond the major power blocks. What are the major power blocks? Like USA and China, right? So it helps us to diversify beyond that. It reduces the excessive dependence on any one country, as I have told you. There is shared commitment to a free and open and inclusive Indo-Pacific region, so that there is no intervention of other countries aggressively, unilaterally. That is very important. Further, cooperation in maritime security and freedom of navigation of the seafarers, including Indian seafarers. Then engagement at G7 summit also took place. Okay, opportunity to present global South concerns of India, which is many things are a common concern for the global South as well. G7. So what are the countries in G7? You have Germany, UK, France, Canada, US, Italy, and Japan. Now, it once had become G8 by the inclusion of Russia, but later, because USA is present, USA had put a sanction on Russia. So Russia was then removed from G8, and then this G8 again, first it got converted, G7 got converted to G8 with the addition of Russia, then they removed Russia, and G8 again converted back to G7 in its present form. Then in G20, these countries are there, Russia is also there. In addition to this, these countries are also there, other countries plus European Union entirely is present over there. Okay. Now, another importance is India's enhanced role in what? In global economic governance. Then bilateral interaction with major world leaders took place in the G7 summit, including the president of USA, that is Donald Trump. Then you have India being increasingly viewed as a pillar of a multipolar world order. Now, during the Cold War, world was bipolar, means two major power, but now it is a multipolar world. France has emerged as India's most trusted strategic partners now, so that is important. Now let us understand what are the challenges and subsequent way forward. So if you talk about the challenges, cost and timelines of defense acquisition, there is a huge cost of defense acquisition which India is paying, and this is one of the reasons for our strategic partnership. So there is a cost that is there. Managing the geopolitical competition is very important, because if you tilt towards one, the other country is affected or saddened, or they may tilt towards someone else, so on and so forth. Okay. So what should be done going forward? We should accelerate the defense co-production and co-development, so that we move beyond the buyer and seller. And this will help us even more. Rather than simply spending money, we will also get the technology, develop it, and we will also start producing on our own as well. Plus, deepen the technological partnership. Technology transfer should also take place, like it takes place co-development, co-production, co-development, technology transfer takes place with respect to India, Russia being all-weather friend. So Russia not just gives us or sells us the equipment, but also the technology, develops with us, and then gives us the technology as well. Similar thing should happen over here. Then strengthening of Indo-Pacific cooperation is also very important for our maritime security, as well as the security of our naval ships, our officers, our civilians, and civilians, because maritime boundary security is also very important. Expand the collaboration in innovation, education and research so that we can develop cutting edge technology, which is the need of the hour in this artificial intelligence world. We have to keep on developing, improving every single second. So these are the things that we can do in order to ensure that we are not dependent completely and move towards the Atmanirbhar Bharat. Thank you.